Dear friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Vlada and I'm excited to dive into the basics of botanical drawing with you. Today we'll start with something fundamental, drawing a hydrangea leaf. Right now I'm holding a hydrangea leaf and together we'll break down into structure step by step and of course create a detailed drawing of it. Oh, what a wonderful variety of leaves exists in nature! In my botanical illustrations, I love not just copying something directly from nature, but also analyzing its shape in detail. With such a diversity of forms, it's easy to get overwhelmed. So, let me show you what I focus on before starting the actual drawing. First, let's determine the basic shape of this leaf. Here you can see my sketches of the most common leaf shapes. Notice that this leaf has its widest point right here. Based on that, we can confidently say that this leaf is closest to the shapes called ovate or oval, somewhere between these two. Next, let's examine the edge of the leaf and define its outer appearance. Take a look at my chart. This type of edge is called serrate. Now let's focus on the apex of the leaf. What shape is it? This one is known as aristate. Moving on to the leaf base, we can see that it forms a rounded curve. This type of base is called rounded. Nice and simple. We also need to check how the leaf attaches to the stem. This attachment type is referred to as petiolate. Lastly, take a look at the veins. They form a network-like pattern which is classified as pinnate venation. Alright, now that we've studied our leaf, let's move on to drawing it. First, I mark the height of the leaf as well as its central line, which is the midrib. Earlier we identified the leaf's basic shape, so I'll begin by sketching an oval. Great! The base shape is done. Now let's move on to the details. First, I'll add a small petiole. Next, I'll sketch the apex of the leaf to make it resemble a hydrangea leaf more closely. Now, I'll define the basic shape of the leaf. Any extra lines are erased using a regular eraser. I also use a kneaded eraser to lighten the graphite, making the lines soft and barely visible. Now let's start sketching the edges of our leaf. I am making small, sharp notches to mimic the serrate margin. Great! We've completed the edge of the leaf. Let's move on to the next step. Next, we need to add the veins branching out from the central midrib. I sketch them with soft, delicate lines. As you can see, the veins curve slightly toward the edges, creating an arched shape. Now I'll add thickness to each vein. Watch as I carefully draw a parallel line next to each one to define their size. I'll repeat this for all the veins. Let's also lightly outline the petiole. This step is simple, just copy it directly from the leaf in front of you. I'll zoom in to show you how I draw the edges and veins more closely. Notice how I follow the curve of the vein and add smaller secondary veins for extra detail. And there you have it! The first stage is complete. we've outlined the leaf and its vein structure. Now it's time to start shading. For this step, we'll use a 2H pencil to begin toning. So let's go to the next step of our work. I'm adding shadows underneath each vein that we've outlined. This is how it looks. Try to lightly touch the paper with your pencil to keep the lines soft and airy. Bit by bit, I am darkening the tone near the veins. Now I am adding small, short strokes on the other side of the vein as well. This simple technique helps create depth and volume in the leaf. That's really the secret. You just need to repeat this process for all the veins inside the leaf. Let's take this segment as an example. Apply more tone underneath and less on the top. Continue this process for every section between the veins. So, I'll finish shading the second half of the leaf and then show you the result. Take a look. At this stage, I've shaded all the segments. As I mentioned earlier, the shading is darker at the bottom of each segment and lighter at the top. Next, let's work on the edges of the leaf. Notice how the veins near the edges become finer, almost unnoticeable in thickness. I'm gently shading around each small vein, being careful not to press too hard with my pencil. Let's take another look at the real leaf. Now, within each segment, we need to draw the smaller veins. So, let's carefully replicate their shapes. You can see how these smaller veins converge toward the center and will simply shade around them. Repeat the same process for the rest of the segments. As you can see, when drawing any leaf, we always start with the larger overall shape before diving into the details. So, my advice is to avoid focusing on the details at the beginning. First, outline the general structure of the leaf. Now that we've shaded and detailed all the segments, let's go over the edge of the leaf again. Here's what I usually do. I draw the thickness of the leaf to give it more realistic look. Go along the edge and add the thickness. Once that's done, take a hard pencil and gently add strokes from the edge toward the center of the leaf. A little secret: how can we make any leaf look as realistic as possible? Let me show you a simple trick. Here, I've sketched a random leaf, and to give it depth, we need to make one side darker while leaving the other side lighter, like this. So we divide the leaf in half, creating a shadowed side and a lighter side. On the left is the shadow, while the right remains light. Let's slightly darken the entire left side following this technique. Now, let's finish up by drawing the petiole. This is how we've shaded the entire leaf. Now, I want to add some tonal accents. To do this, I'll go over some of the veins to make them more prominent using a softer HB pencil. Switching to a softer pencil allows me to add even more details to the drawing. I'm now sketching finer veins to give the leaf a truly realistic texture. Also, let's enhance the tone along the edge of the leaf a little. You can see I'm carefully refining the edge and gradually adding the smallest veins. I absolutely love this stage because I really enjoy drawing the tiniest details, so it feels like a form of meditation for me. And there we have it, a realistic leaf. I really hope this video was helpful for you. We have many more botanical discoveries ahead, but for today I'll say goodbye. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next videos.